Okay, I'm going to call us back to order. Earlier we met in executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. Jenny, will you call us, or will you do the roll call?
Mr. Murray.
Here.
Mrs. O'Connor.
Present.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Here.
Mr. Dibble.
Here. Will you rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. O'Connor.
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Dibble.
Yes. We are into the school year now. It's great to see everything going so well. Kind of hard to believe still that we're into the school year, but we're rocking along in second week now.
We are. Day 9.
Day 9, but we're not counting, right? So, Matt, do you have any comments for tonight?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Dibble. I think the school year started off very, very well. A lot of thanks for that goes to our staff, teachers, custodians, building office managers, cafeteria folk, and Chris Passarge's team. And we were ready. We were ready for the kids to come back, and I think the kids were ready, and I know the parents were ready for the kids to come back as well. Mr. Vogelman ran some numbers for me today, and in terms of enrollment, today's enrollment was 16,923, which is about 25 students more than this time last year. So first couple days you don't really know how valid those numbers are because of the ins and outs and people that have not withdrawn yet, but that's a pretty good number where we're at. So just wanted to pass that along. That's it.
Thank you. Jenny?
Sure.
I don't have any opening comments.
And we'll move right along to student spotlight. Lauren, you can come up and do the intro.
Good evening. It is my honor to be here tonight to introduce you to Lakota East sophomore Gavin Myers as our student spotlight. So we're glad to be back in business and being here with our students, recognizing the great things that they're doing. So as the kicker for the Thunderhawks football team, Gavin has made it his personal mission to do more than just put points on the scoreboard this season. One kick at a time, he's literally doing his part to kick the legs of childhood cancer. He took it upon himself to partner with a volunteer-driven organization called Kick It that raises money for childhood cancer research. The fact that he's already doubled his original goal before the start of the regular football season, it should tell you a lot about his drive to do good things with this effort. As he puts it, it's his way of supporting something much bigger than a football game. Gavin is living testimony of the strong character and the values that our teachers and our staff work hard to instill in their students every day. So thank you, Gavin, for the wonderful example you are setting and for being here tonight to share with the board more about your special project. And I'd also like to recognize a few people in the audience here to support Gavin. We have his mom and dad, Scott and Carrie, and we have Susanna Davis, principal, and Rick Haynes, the coach for Gavin as well. So without further ado, I'll introduce Gavin to tell you a little more about this work.
Superintendent Miller and the Lakota School Board, thank you for having me this evening. My name is Gavin Myers, and I'm a sophomore kicker and punter for the Lakota East Thunderhawks football team. Last June, I lost my aunt Amanda Dunn to breast cancer, and my other aunt, Nicole Watkins, was diagnosed with the same breast cancer last April. This was something that affected not only me, but my family, our friends, and most of all my cousins, some who are Lakota students. As you may be already aware, students in our school district are battling cancer. This is a terrible disease, and I wanted to do something to make a difference in the lives of children affected by cancer. I can't cure cancer, but I wanted to do my part in helping finding a cure so that families do not have to endure what mine has gone through over the past 2 years. This season, I have partnered with Alex Lemonade Stand Foundation and have become a Kick It champion. Kick It is a national volunteer-driven organization focused solely on raising money for children's cancer research. Every time I kick a field goal or extra point, it's good for the Lakota East Thunderhawks, and it's even better for children with cancer. When I decided to set a goal for $1,000 and make 30 points, the season just started Friday, and I have raised $2,118 in donations. This does not include the pledges for points. I am hoping to double my original goal, if not triple it by the end of the season. I will have a table at all the home games this season accepting donations and pledges with the exception of the October 13th game. That game is the breast cancer awareness game. And I do not want to take away from a cause that means so much to me and my family. This season, I would like to provide a family night for some of the Lakota children, childhood warriors, cancer warriors. I know that there is nothing greater than spending time with your family and having a night to put illness aside and just be a kid and a family. I would like to have the families be my guests at the October 13th game as the Thunderhawks take on Hamilton. I would like to treat them to tickets and halftime snacks. This game is near and dear to me, as it is the breast cancer awareness game. It is also the day before my Aunt Mandy's birthday. I cannot think of a better way to honor her or my fellow students that are kicking this disease. Being a Kick It champion is something I plan to continue yearly while a student at Lakota East. I'd like to get all the Lakota East kickers and punters involved next year in hopes of raising more money and hopefully starting a football tradition. If I am fortunate enough to play in the college, it will be something that I will continue as well. I once again thank you all for having me and allowing me to share this important cause with all of you. I look forward to making my aunts and Lakota proud of this football season. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Wow, excellent. How did you find Kick It to begin with?
My mom read about it last year. It was close to the end of the football season. She saw it in a newspaper article or online. It was too late in the season for me to have done it, so I decided to start it this year.
Now you're a junior, right? Is that correct? Sophomore. So you got this year and then 2 more. You can really do some good there, raising some money for that wonderful cause that you're working with. I believe they have a web page and a Facebook page. You
Yeah.
Kick It. If we want to look and read more of it, would they more about it? Would have it on there? Would it? Okay.
We'll send something out. We can.
Okay. That's great.
Have you
Great
shared-
job.
Have you shared this information with your fellow kickers over at West?
No.
Well, we are Lakota. Yeah.
All right, we'll have to figure out, maybe we can help you with that. We'll
Yeah.
figure out a way to share that information with them, maybe get them involved with that.
Cell phones do work across those boundaries. Just saying.
I'm just amazed at everything that you've done in a short amount of time, and the impact that you've made in a short amount of time says a lot about you, says a lot about your parents. So kudos to you, and very admirable. And you're setting the bar high for the student spotlights coming behind you. That's for sure.
Gavin, I've also lost a family member, and I'll make a pledge to you.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's great that, and I like that you're keeping a higher cause. I mean, much as, yes, football games and winning them are very important, but, you're making a huge impact on, especially when you're focusing on the kids of Lakota. And sometimes we lose sight of the fact that there are kids right in our community, in our schools every day fighting them. And, to be able to reach out and help them and invite them to the game, I think is just got a good heart in there.
Yeah.
Very
And maybe we can lend a
Definitely.
hand on family night?
Absolutely. Already done.
I thought so.
Yep.
Gavin, thank you for taking a negative situation, a hard one, and turning it around. That's really neat.
Okay, if you would come up here, we can take a picture with you. And you get a certificate. you here. And you also get a We Are Lakota.
What's your longest field?
50 yards.
You kicked a 50-yard field goal? Whoa, okay.
This is in front of a college coach, do you know?
When is the time to do it?
He's going to raise a lot of money.
Yeah. That's Ohio State.
Hold that, stand right in the middle, we'll squash in together here.
You saw what you were in the magazine.
Thank you, Candace. Question is, how many We Are Lakota tweets are we going to get in the next 35 seconds?
That's a challenge, we can do that.
You might be the first student to do
We
that.
go get it. Awesome.
Now we can go to the anticlimactic board reports. Board policy committee, we have a report on that.
We met recently, we haven't had any new information to share, still waiting on some truancy information from Columbus to come back.
Public text.
We met last Tuesday, and I've got some information I want to pass out to you. We're putting this together. I don't know if you get this right here, Transforming Lives, all the cool stuff that goes on over at Butler Tech. It kind of keeps you up to date on all of that. Recently, there was a Heroes Ride that we sponsored over there. Actually, Adult Education sponsored it, and they call it the For Pause for Ability, and it's an organization that supports the wounded World War II veterans, things like that. And it was a motorcycle ride. We had our president of the board was riding his bike out there, so it was pretty cool stuff. I don't want to pass these out so you guys can take a look at it. And we haven't really decided on anybody as far as a contractor to start the phase 2 of the Butler Tech building over at the Bioscience building. As soon as we get somebody on that, I can give you some ideas of what may be in store for us over in that section. And the Americana property over there, we're doing some cleanup work on that. Not quite sure what's going to go over there. There's a lot of different ideas what we could put in over there. We're moving, trying to consolidate and save some money because a lot of the satellite schools are costing more and more, and if we could kind of put them in one campus, it would be great. The School for the Performing Arts, which was in Hamilton, has now moved over to D. Russell Lee. And that'll save us about $200,000 a year in just run alone, so we're going to be doing a little bit of renovation with the D. Russell Lee building. And that's about it.
I think we have the all boards meeting coming up.
When you caught me on that one, did I have to get...
I think we got an email saying, can't say the date. Somehow I think it's mid-September.
It's October.
Is it October? I have it in my calendar. Do you have it in yours?
I think it's October 12th.
Yeah, the 12th rang a bell to me too. but, Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Community engagement.
We're going along with our different community conversations in the building. Matt's gotten a great turnout with the different school buildings. We have in Gordon this week, and then we have Hopewell and Freedom the week of September 5th, or shortened week. And then Shawnee and Plains will be the week of September 18th and the 21st. So still hoping to continue to get that great turnout of our staff. So we really appreciate all their great input that we've gotten so far and hope to continue to get that.
It's made a big difference.
So, and we'll continue to working to get the larger communities, community conversations on the calendar. So we're working to get some dates out there for those as well.
Are we still looking for people who want to host the conversation? If someone wants to host the conversation? will
Yes.
they get in touch with us?
Yep, and that information's coming out almost any day.
Perfect.
And then, I don't know, Matt's also doing coffees, they're kind of separate, but those are starting out
Same
as
type
well.
of, yeah, same type of theme, and I think those are going out this week. I think the first one's September 6th or 5th. 6th, it's got to be the 6th.
Coffee, beans, and brew.
Coffee, Beans, and Brew, and Einstein going back and forth. So looking forward to that.
Okay, excellent. District Council,
Hasn't met yet.
but it should be starting soon, right?
September 13th.
Perfect. Legislative, anything going on in the world of?
The next General Assembly starts September 13th. Do we have any information right now? Really nothing happening at
Nothing
this
happening
point.
right now. I will mention that I'm going to be on BASA's legislative committee. So that's the first meeting for that is like September 19th or something. So if I get anything different, I'll pass it along.
Thank you.
Anything, Jenny?
No, I'm hearing the same thing right now. It's just kind of quiet.
Yep.
I did attend the conference in Columbus a few weeks ago, but other than that, it's been relatively quiet.
They'll be looking at a new Speaker of the House. The current Speaker is termed out. So that will be happening relatively soon, I think. But other than that, nothing until that kicks up again.
Good. Okay. On to treasurer's recommendations. We have board minutes to approve. We have approval of the July 2017 fiscal reports. We have a couple of transfers that are taking place and an agreement with a registration gateway. Denny, do you have any?
As well as the memorandum of understanding with Lakota Education Association is also included on the agenda. Did it get printed out without that on it? Okay, I wanted to make sure. Okay, so so the transfers that are before you include a transfer when our seniors graduate. Sometimes there's actually some money left over in their class account, so we transfer that money to the seniors coming up. So that's included in there, as well as we have a lacrosse fund that is set up it includes a lacrosse cheer account. So we're just trying to separate those out. So that's what the other transfer is for. The MOU with the Lakota Education Association, it speaks to language regarding movement along the salary schedules relative to attaining certain requirements, and that's included there for your approval. And the last thing is Registration Gateway, a contract. Currently, right now, and I believe, do you have information on how many enrollments that we had?
For the enrollment center?
Yeah.
Thanks to Mr. Vogelman, I do.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you did.
New student enrollment K-12, 2,199 is a grand total number.
Yeah. And as well as we have a lot of activity, not just in the summertime, but throughout the year with information changes, address changes, what have you. What Registration Gateway will allow us to do right now, we are still doing things. We have a manual system that we are collecting data from our parents and then putting things into the system. What Registration Gateway will allow us to do is it's an online enrollment opportunity for our students. And so now instead of gathering paper and then manually inputting it from the get-go, it will be put into the system. The sharing of that information will be electronic as well. And we believe that we're going to gain some efficiencies through this process, as well as instead of transporting and transferring paper, to have things electronic, and will help with less errors and all of that as well. Accuracy of data, especially according to our students, is very, very important. We did do an RFP for this service, and we received 2 responses, and Registration Gateway is the one that we are recommending. We also looked at other school districts in our area and what they're using. The other response was from Power School, and we evaluated both, but we felt like Registration Gateway provided us with some services that we felt were going to fit better with what we're doing currently, and we got some really good, valuable references on this company, and there are quite a few of our neighbors that are using Registration Gateway as well. So we're looking forward to being able to do something in a more modern way with that. And I think that's it.
Just a quick comment or two on the Gateway here. One, kind of interesting, they provide Spanish translation for
Yes.
which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And also, interestingly enough, they have geolytics, which is geospatial stuff, which will be able to help with determining where exactly people live and put them on a map and be able to help with potential redistricting sort of stuff. And it's all living on the cloud, I assume? And I assume they have good security around it? I'm looking at Todd to get the thumbs up back there.
Yes, and we actually have an addendum to any contract that the district partakes in now, where this company, along with any other, has to sign off on all of the security issues surrounding all of that data. So we're making sure that we're following all that protocol as well.
Excellent.
And I'd also like to point out that there has been no discussion by the board of redistricting, so I don't want anyone
Right.
panicking about that.
Yep.
That has not been a
No.
discussion.
No.
Good point. But
No.
It does provide really cool data, and data is power these days, so knowledge, and you can figure out all sorts of stuff. The more information we have that we can analyze is better, so.
Yes.
Any discussion, well, do I have a motion for treasurer's recommendations A, B, C, D, and E, being the MOU that's not on the hard copy?
So moved.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Ray. Do we have any discussion or further questions that we can?
I'm glad to see us looking at making it more efficient in our enrollment process and data gathering process. I think anything we can do to streamline our data gathering process is going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Better for our parents.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And less staff time spent doing that as well, which seems better too.
And I assume somewhere in here we have, this system will feed any other system it needs to feed in our various systems that we're developing. Perfect, thank you.
They all talk to one another, right, Todd?
You know, sometimes.
I know. We have to check on all that.
Okay, any other questions, discussion? Okay, Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes,
Mr. Dibble?
Yes. Thank you. We have superintendent's recommendations, we have personnel items, approved transportation routes for the school year, and donations. I'm going to check and see if there's anything added on in the electronic version here. Nope. Any discussion on any of that?
I'm sorry, Ben.
That's okay. These are just, the transportation is just what we do at this time of year to approve.
It's a requirement to improve the routes. Correct.
Any discussion, or do I have a motion for superintendent's items A, B, and C?
So moved, Ben.
you
Thank you,
don't
Ray.
think that's supposed to be?
I
Second?
think we're
Thank
okay
you, Julie.
Okay,
with what we have.
Any
For
questions,
now, we're fixing
comments, concerns?
okay.
Hearing none. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes,
Mr. Dibble?
Yes. We'll go to closing comments, and we'll start with Matt, because Jenny is busily
Sorry.
looking at
No, that's okay. And the only thing I had, Julie mentioned it, is we have Van Gordon for community conversation Thursday. We also have fanfare at Van Gordon that morning, so we'll start the day and end the day just around the corner. So that was it. We're looking forward to that.
Linda.
I'd like to welcome a prospective Eagle Scout from Troop 914, Tristan, working on his merit badge this evening, and glad to have you here, Tristan. Be happy to sign that card off for you. Tiernan. I apologize. Tristan is the older brother. I apologize, Tiernan. Glad to have you, and I'll still sign the blue card for you. That's all.
Had the opportunity to go on Saturday and do some volunteer work, which we didn't know when we signed up to do it that was going to become hurricane relief work with the Lakota West tennis team. So with all of our student athletes, I think we don't realize that they did this as a service project. So right now, certainly our thoughts are with all of the folks down in Texas. A lot of press in Houston, but certainly thinking about all those folks. And if you have an opportunity, there's still a lot of volunteer work here locally that needs to be done. So if you have an opportunity to get out, certainly take the time and do that. It certainly was a worthwhile opportunity. There were a lot of teams and different organizations out and about doing that this weekend. So it was great to be able to get out and hands and feet to do that.
Friday is a PD day for students, so it's staff here, and Fran Morrison brought up the idea that perhaps staff can help out on Friday when they come in bringing something and working with Matthew 25. So great idea by Fran. They haven't run it by team yet, but I think we'll help make that happen Friday. So.
Right.
Just a couple of things. It's been super exciting following this man around. An opening week or two of school. He's got a lot of energy, and people are excited. It's just so much fun to see him talk to the teachers, and the teachers be able to talk to him personally and just tell them some of the things that they really like to see happen. We haven't done that in a long time. Just two other things I want to point out. We're going to have the new student welcome at the Square, the Ice Cream Social. It'll be the 4th annual one on September 6th at 5 p.m. That's usually a lot of fun. And another thing that we have, and everybody usually goes to it, is the Key event. And the reason I'm mentioning that the Key event will be in September the 9th at 5 o'clock, we're going to kick off the first big fundraiser, so to speak, for the Lakota Fund. And remember, we talked about that before, and I think it should be exciting. It'll be a fund that's set aside to be used strictly for Lakota students here, funded in a different way, because I know some of the teachers already have money coming out of their check for one of the funds that we have there. This is going to be something totally different. You know, we can do scholarships, and if we could get it endowed and get it completely funded, you know, where we'll have scholarship money and grant money that we can pay out, it'll take a while to do it, but that's the goal that we're trying to see happen here. So if you have a chance, September the 9th, September 9th, 5 p.m. at the the Holiday Inn on Mulhauser Road.
Jenny.
Always impressed by our students. Gavin already exceeded his goal of fundraising, and it sounds like that's going to be quite a year for him. I mean, if he's already exceeded that goal, and we'll be interested to see if he can get more people involved in doing this. But just interesting to see how one child who was affected by something that was very difficult, devastating for their family, to turn that around and do something, and now we're doing something for the families and of the children, and I think it's awesome. We have true leaders, and Lakota does care. This district cares. I mean, I know that Matt kicked off the Casual for a Cause, talking about that, you know, and what we're going to do at our convocation, and employees here are, every time you turn around, there's some type of fundraiser or some type of outreach by our children, our staff, and it's just great to work in a district where, you know, Lakota does care. We do care, and that student and that leader, that was awesome to see. So, kudos to him. That's it.
Definitely mature
Yeah.
for being a 10th grader and being mature enough to come up with the idea and do it to help others
Yeah.
so well. It really is impressive. Plus, a 50-yard field goal is pretty darn
Pretty
impressive.
impressive.
I'm sure the East people are happy with them. In Houston, I definitely, I have several people who work for me down in that neck of the woods, and one of them has a mere 6 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. I mean, it's nothing compared to the 30 inches at
Yeah.
other places, but still 6 inches of rain is enough to, I mean, it's not pretty down there. If people aren't following the district on social media, certainly, get out there on Twitter. Mr. Vogelman is back there nodding. He is even on Twitter now, so.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of him. But there's a lot of information that you can gather about the district, and it's really fun to watch what's happening in different classrooms and, seeing teachers that and seeing the great things that are happening. And sometimes they're a little mysterious. There's a paper bridge thing that was going on that they had really long paper bridges, I guess, that they were trying to build. But pretty cool to see the kids involved in that. And last thing, I did have a young man come up to me and say, "Did Mr. Miller, did he really go to every building in the school district? Like, every building?" I said, "Yeah, including like all 26, not just the schools." "How did he do that?"
Mr. Vogelman was driving. That's how I did it.
Police escort. But very impressive that you.
It was good for us. The team went, and we had 7 of us in his van, and that got around. So it was good to see everybody and see the kids. And I mean, you talk about social media. It's just awesome just to share what's going on in the classrooms. That's the biggest thing that I think we get out of it is just seeing what's going on. Sometimes we don't, So it's pretty cool.
I think it's great that you did that and that you're continuing to share what you're seeing out there and the great things
Thank
that are
you.
happening in the district. So with that, I would love a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Second. Big Ray. Ray was
Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble?
Yes. Thank you all for coming.